Welcome back to another edition of Cape Band Today. Heather and I are joined by Taylor Bradford in studio. Studio C here at 1620 Studios at 11 Pleasant Street in downtown Gloucester to go over the latest headlines from the Gloucester Daily Times. How are you, Taylor?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you guys in person.
Yeah, I know.
I love it.
This
It's
is
great.
different. We should all have little cardboard TV cutouts here to make this work.
I just wish my dog was jumping around next to me.
Yeah.
All right, Taylor, so another busy week. There were a couple important appointments with the Board of Health.
Right, so the Board of Health is having a lot of different changes. We know, Karen Carroll left the health department as director a while back, and we knew that Rich Sagel was planning to leave and retire, as he's planning to go to Washington. So the question was, who's going to be the new chair of the Board of Health? And so they've announced that Joe Rosa has been elected or voted on from the rest of the Board of Health members as the new chair. So he has a great background. He, volunteers at GMGI. He has a great background in biotech and all that different stuff. And he's going to be accompanied by Claudia Schweitzer, who's going to be the vice president as well. And so they're going to, I really think they have a vision of kind of reinvigorating the Board of Health, especially after what I think I feel probably call it a turmoil, right, of just kind of the upset that's happened in the health department as COVID's kind of, untangled this community a little bit and navigating that. And so it's going to be definitely a lot of work as they go forward, but I think they're ready for it, and they're both seasoned, experienced people within this kind of Board of Health environment. So we'll see. I know they're meeting in person now, which is a big change to the Zoom call, so maybe that too will bring some camaraderie and communication as they continue to collaborate with everyone else. I know that they don't have a health department director yet, but they're interviewing
Karen's
people.
Position.
Karen is still empty. I don't know where Karen Carroll is now, but all that I know is that they are interviewing people. So we know that they are in the process of doing it, but they haven't named names yet. So that's something to kind of look at down the pike as we continue to cover that.
Gotcha.
Can you sort of describe all the difference between the director and the chair?
Yeah, so the health director is kind of, it's a city, that's a position, it's a city position within Gloucester, and, it's a hired position, which they have a full salary. At the Board of Health, those are volunteer positions that they're doing they're professionals, and they're highly qualified for these positions, but it's not as much of a day-to-day, because these people still have jobs. Rich, he was working for Needy Meds,
Right.
and so, they have their full-time jobs, plus they're doing this as well. And the health department, a lot of times the director would come on and kind of give them the lowdown of what's happening in the city over the course of the month. So those are the kind of, they're very big differences, but it's not to say that anyone is less qualified. They're all very brilliant people who have a lot of background, especially when it comes to the health department in the time of COVID. You really need to have people who are experienced, level-headed, and ready with a mission to kind of, drive the city in the right direction.
Yeah, and the Board of Health, they've done an exemplary job the last couple of years of, just dealing and navigating the city through COVID.
Right.
And Joe and Claudia are great people, so cheers to them. Okay, thanks for that, Taylor. Okay, let's put a bow on Schooner Fest.
Yeah, so Schooner Fest, this was actually, I'm a little embarrassed to say this. This is my first Schooner Fest I ever went to. I'm not from the city, and I'll take that, but being able to cover it was a joy to be able to go and see these beautiful schooners just, grace the harbor, and the people who came out, even, with COVID still around, the hordes of people that came to see it. Paul Bilodeau, our photographer, and I did get a chance to go on a boat with Justin Dimitri prior to Schooner Fest and tour all the different boats and get a little bit of a history of what all those boats are.
But Justin Dimitri is the historian at Maritime Gloucester.
Yes. Yeah. And so being able to see the background, but then see them in action as they do the parade of sails through the Gloucester Harbor, and then to just find out really was a head-to-head competition this year around. I was able to speak with Mike DaCosta as he's sailing on the Ardell during the race and talking about how he's really surprised how competitive it was this year. And I mean, we had, When and If beat Columbia by 1 minute. And I think it was 1 hour and 11 minutes to 1:10. And everyone, Columbia is, its own category. And now you're having the When and If, which I think has a beautiful history with, Patton and everything like that. But the When and If taking it by 1 minute. And then we have American Eagle, obviously, clinching the Esperanto Cup. So
those are big boats to be coming in that close together, right?
Yeah, and the photos, they're close.
Yeah.
They're, so it was a beautiful day. They also, they fired off the Parrot cannon that got restored, and that was really beautiful. They did kind of block off that tip of Stage 4 at Park, and people were definitely disappointed that they couldn't go out to the very tip. And I did get a few complaints from people who were just not really understanding the significance of the cannon and wanting to really, see the boats. But for those who started to, over time they would be reading online, or someone would give them, after that cannon, has been restored, then they kind of all came together, they fired off the cannon, and everyone's forgetting, why they're mad, and they're just cheering because it's such a beautiful sight.
Well, also how loud that cannon
Oh my
is.
gosh.
Yeah, you do. I have actually sat a little bit too close to the cannon before because there was another cannon there, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not really that pleasant.
No.
So,
yeah, and I was holding my ears like this the entire time.
Yeah,
But it was beautiful. It was a really great day. It was rained a little bit, as my grandfather says. It was clam spitting, but other than that, it wasn't really that bad of a day at all.
Yeah, it was really cool. A beautiful weekend and a nice way to cap summer here in Gloucester. So if you're wondering why Taylor's in studio, we're actually talking about big ticket items for Tuesday's preliminary election for Gloucester's mayoral race. So we're going to get to that soon. In the meantime, Taylor, have a great weekend, and you can catch our coverage of the elections Tuesday at 7 p.m. live here on Channel 12 and 1623 Studios Facebook page. And Taylor will be joining us virtually for that experience. So, okay, have a great weekend, Taylor. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
This episode of Cape Ann Today is brought to you by Bank Gloucester. Start here, get there.